Good morning, everybody. This is Laura Peterson, your host of Central Florida Real Estate Radio. I'm from Your Home Sold, Guaranteed Realty, and to discuss the sale of your home, you can call or text 407-566-2555. That's 407-566-2555. So I've got lots of great stuff to go over with you today. I've spent most of the week actually at a conference in regards to sharpening myself and getting better and all of that kind of good stuff, which I always think is great. And, you know, it's always good to get together with these people. It's a Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty conference, actually happened and still happening right now here in Orlando. And, you know, it's just really great to be able to work with people that are on the cutting edge, knowing what's going on. And the thing that's always been good about working with these people, which I've been with this group of people. We haven't been Your Home Sold this long, but we've been with this group of people, I think, for the last, since 2007. So for the last 19 years. And, we've always been ahead of the market in regards to what's going on and what's the best thing for the people out there and how to make sure that people do get the most money out of their houses if that's what they want. If they want a quick exit with the cash offer, we've got that available. And so all of those things and some of those things I'm going to be talking about, which is some of the predictions in regards to what we're looking at in the future and how we're already ahead of the game and everything. But I always start out with the stats, and I want to do that. But I wanted to let you know kind of, you know, what I do and where I'm at in regards to figuring out how to make things better for all of you out there so that your dreams and goals are completed. So it's, you know, everybody thinks, hey, the top dollar is a thing that people want. And many times it is, but many times that's not what's most important. Sometimes the speed of the sale is what's important. And sometimes it's, you know, just not having the hassle of it or anything and making it as easy as possible. And so the great thing about what we do is that we've got all those options available to you, and you can look at them one by one right next to each other and then make the decision of what's right for you. But enough on that. I'm going to get into that a little bit later. But right now, I'm going to go into the stats for the week. And what we're looking at now is Lake, Orange, Osceola, Polk, and Seminole counties. And so when we're looking at that from the single family residence point of view is what we always start out with, is that the median price was at $412,750 last week, and it's at $399,990. And so very consistent with where we're at. The sales, you were at the end of the month last month, and so the dates for this are April 5th to the 11th, so we're always a little bit behind on that. But the sales were at 862 the week before and 584 now. So very consistent with where it has been and everything in the past in what we're looking at, because the end of the month, there's always more because, you know, builders are trying to get it closed before the end of the month. Lenders are trying to get it closed before the end of the month, and people are trying to get it closed before the end of the month because they're renting, and so now they're moving to a new place, so they want to make sure that they don't have to pay that extra month's rent. So that always happens. There's always a kind of a push right there in regards to what happens. Okay, so overall, of those 584 homes, 54 of them were under 250, 70 between 250 and 300, 169 between 3 and 400, 120 between 4 and 5, 144 between 500 and a million, and there were 27 of them over a million. So when we're looking at the active listings, so if you just took that kind of, you know, I don't have the exact months and everything right here on this report, but if you took 584, which I'm going to round to 600, and you took that times 4, that would be 2,400 in a month that would be selling. There are 8,053 homes on the market. So the other thing that is on this report that tells the original list price to the final list price is 97% overall. So that means that what the average person is putting on the market and what they're actually selling at is 3% lower. So for example, the average sale price was at 485,018 for the area. It was $15,000 less that they took price reductions on overall, and then the sale price ended up being 94% based on that asking price, and this is on the average home. So basically, it came down $27,000 from the original asking price. Now that's a very interesting statistic to me. That's been going on for quite some time, because what happens out there is a lot of sellers think that their home is worth a lot more than it is, or they think, hey, I'm just going to be able to put it on the market and get what I want. But if they do want to sell it, they have to price it appropriately. And so we believe in doing that at the beginning. And what that does is that it makes your home sell faster and everything like that. Right now, the average days to contract is 76. So and then it's another 38 days to close. So it's 115 days overall between when you put your house on the market and it actually sells. So if you want to do that differently, then you've got to do things differently in order to make things happen. So it's like maybe that's your goal or what you want to do, but when it comes down to it, we can show you all of the things that make this happen, that make it maybe a better decision for you in what you're trying to accomplish. And that's what we're all about. Okay, when we're looking at the condos and townhomes, the median price was at $317,450 last week. It's at $281,480 right now. Not really any reason to concern. The number went from 200 to 122. Again, no reason for concern, because that was the end of the month compared to what it is right now. When you're looking at how that shakes down between the different price points, there were 122, like I said. 47 of them were under 250, 21 between 250 and 3, 31 between 300 and 400, 12 between 400 and 500, 9 between 500 and $1 million, and 2 of them over $1 million. So we went several weeks without anything selling over $1 million. So now it looks like, wow, there's a lot selling over $1 million because there's only 20 in inventory. But basically, we went a few weeks without anything selling. So it just comes down to how does it all shake out and what's it look like. So the interesting thing here, when you're looking at the stats of the original list price to final list price, it's kind of where the single family homes ended. They ended up, the single family homes, at 97.06 of the original asking price, whereas the condos ended up at 94.93 of the original asking price. And the sale price for them was at 91.81 versus the single family homes was at 94.62. And the average days to contract was 108 for condos, townhomes, and villas. And then for the single family homes, it was at 76. And so 115 days total to close for the single family homes and 141 for condos and townhomes. So basically what this means and how this kind of shakes out for you and everything is what you're looking at is that you've got to realize that the more that you segment, the more that you look at individually and how that all looks and everything like that makes a big difference in regards to what happens with your particular property and what's going on in your neighborhood, in your zip code, in your school district. And looking at all of those things, we're going to be able to determine what is the best possible option for you, what you can expect, and where you can kind of go from there. Now, we always beat the average by a lot, but basically when it comes down to it, you've got to know what you're looking for, what you want to do, and what your goals are in order to make this all happen. And you can look at the stats, and what we look at the stats for are trends. Our market right now, when you're looking at the trends, is very consistent. And that's what it is. It's not varying in any way right now. These stats are all very consistent with what it is overall all the time, and has been since the interest rates went up from 3% or even 2% and 4% and everything, up to the 6 and 7s. And since the interest rate has been there, we have maintained where we're at very consistently. The thing that has happened is that the inventory has increased. And as a result of that, people have more choices, and so houses are staying on the market, and you do have to be much more competitive. When the houses were flying off the shelf, the problem is that if you weren't working with someone savvy, you would just take the first deal that came along and said, hey, this sounds good. But maybe you could have gotten something a little better if you just had a little patience. And by that, I mean like days of patience as opposed to months like it is right now. But as the inventory grows, then things change. And that's basically what we're looking at today. And so in order to get in touch with us, you can call or text 407-566-2555. You can find us online at centralfloridarealestateradio.com, and we will see you after the break. Welcome back, everybody. This is Laura Peterson, your host of Central Florida Real Estate Radio. I'm from Your Home Sold, Guaranteed Realty, and to discuss the sale of your home, you can call or text 407-566-2555. That's 407-566-2555. So I've got the monthly stats, and I'm just going to very quickly go over them real quick just so you get an idea. And when we're looking year over year from 25 to 26, and this is March we're looking at, the inventory was at 12,010 in 2026. And in March of 2025, it was at 13,000. So basically, we are down from where we were a year ago, which in my opinion is really good news, because the inventory kept going up, 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 up. And so basically when we're looking at where we are this year versus last year and being, down a little bit, which is 1,000, which is, probably about 8%, somewhere in that range, is not too bad of a deal. I would like the inventory to be down even a little bit more for to be a little bit closer to a normal market and everything like that. I mean, we're right in a normal market, but from a seller standpoint, I think that's good. From a buyer standpoint, it's good as well. Because when it comes down to it, it's not just what's on the market. You can find other houses that are available and everything out there. But month to month changes that in March of 26, there were 12,010 houses on the market. And in 2025, it was 11,975. So really pretty close in regards to what it was just a month ago. When we're coming to the number of properties that sold, we sold 2360 in March of 2026 and 2408 in March of 25. So really, pretty good in regards to what that is. The number is pretty consistent there. And March is a big month for sales. In 2026, it was 2360, like I said, and in February it was only 1888. So that's a 25% increase from February to March. But when you're looking at year over year, it's what March always does. So that's really good as well. In the median price in March of 26 was 385. It was 385.5 in 25. Again, really consistent market, like I'm always telling you. And the average price in 26 was 488,552. The average price in 25 was 485,644. So that's only a 0.6% change, but on the positive. Then the other thing, the days on market, 77, 75 for 25. Average day to sale was 113 in 26 and 111 in 25. So very consistent when you're looking year over year in regards to what's going on. So just wanted to give you those quick stats to give you an idea in regards to what's happening and what's going on. Now, one thing I can tell you in looking at the inventory that I always think is interesting to just go over and everything is so that you do have that trend. Remember, I said that the inventory was growing. So basically in 24, it was at 8973, 9,000 roughly, and now we're at 12,000. And so you can see that just from 2 years ago, we've gone up 3,000 houses roughly. And basically before that, we were even lower than that. I mean, we're at half a month's supply before the interest rates went up. So that was not sustainable either. It was kind of crazy town out there that a lot of people were buying houses that they didn't really want. They were settling because they knew that if they didn't make a snap decision that they were going to be out of luck, and that was their problem. And so we didn't want to do that or continue that for anybody. And so, I'm happy that the inventory has gone up as it has, and as long as it kind of stabilizes now, which it looks like it has from year over year, then that's a good thing. So our market is very stable, like I said, and everything when you're looking at it. But when it comes down to it, what you do to sell your house or what you want to do to sell your house really makes a difference. And so the most important thing that I want to let you know out there is that what we do is that we listen to you in finding out what your needs are, what you want to do, and then we kind of make a game plan from there. But when we come into your home, we actually come in with offers. And what I mean by offers is, offers. We come in with options, I guess is probably the best way to say it, because we come in there with, ways that you can sell your home and put it on the market like this. And we guarantee that you're going to make a certain price. And if you don't, then we'll pay you the difference. And so that's one of our options that we have for you. We have a way that we can have a company come in there. If you've got a project that you've been sitting on that you're like, oh, it's just too much time, energy, and effort, and money, all that kind of stuff to do it, but you know that it would make a big difference in selling your home, we consult with you on that and say, hey, we agree with that. And so if that's something that you want to do, then basically what we we have this company that will come in there. We have several of them actually that would come in there. They bid out kind of the job in regards to what it would be. They manage the whole project from beginning to end. They are not the necessarily the contractor, but they've got these contractors that they use all the time, so they get discount rates on it and pass those on to you. And then what happens is that they get paid at closing. And so it's no money out of your pocket now. Like, so say you need a new roof, and if you had a new roof, you know that your house would sell for a lot more money. Then basically, you can go ahead and they would put the roof on, or you wanted to update the kitchen or the flooring or something, anything that you wanted to do, they could do that. And then it isn't anything, out of your pocket. We have lots of opportunities with we have a lender actually that has, that will actually buy your home if it doesn't sell, and they set up the price with that up front. They have different things that what we do is that they go in there and they let you move, so you have no hassle of showing your home, but you know what you're going to get worst case scenario, and that's not what the worst case, that's not what happens. And it would be a lot closer in value than what you think. And so basically when it comes down to it, there are so many options in regards to that. And then there are straight cash offers that people, will pay for your house, that come in automatically and everything like that. So you see a lot of them that are maybe advertised nationally and everything, but we've got other ones in addition to that would give a cash offer on your home. And then in addition to that, what we've got is if you're just taking straight cash, it's like, hey, this is what it is. You're going to move out and that's it. And then we have ones that will give you 80 to 90% of what you would make, like from that cash offer that they're going to give you right now. And then they're going to go ahead. Maybe they're going to do those things that you wanted to do, like paint the house or something like that, that you decide with them before you even sign a contract with them that this is what they're going to do. And then they put it back on the market, and then you get the additional funds when the house sells. That's just a few of the options. But when we come in and meet with you, we actually have usually between 10 and 14 different alternatives in regards to what you can do in regards to selling your house. Now, we're not going to overwhelm you with those. We're going to give you the best offers in all of those scenarios so that you can make a decision. And basically, when it comes down to it, though, say that you want to go this one particular way. We also have sale and lease back, which means that you sell your house, but you can lease it back. And then after you leave, then you can go ahead and sell it. Now, the beauty of all of these things, and we have several sale and lease back companies. So what we would do if you say, hey, that's what I want to do, then what we would do is we would finalize the offers from all of those companies that want to do what you're saying that you want to do, and we would make it all happen. And so it's really, I think it's really kind of turned things on its ear in making sure that we are actually on the cutting edge, getting you all of the options in regards to what you want to do and guiding you through that. So you don't say, gosh, I wish I would have known that existed, because that would have been a lot better for me in my life. And so when it comes down to it, that's the thing that we're really looking for in order to make sure that you get what you want when it comes time to move on to another property or sell an investment property or whatever that it is that you want to do. And we've got everything right here in our back pocket ready for you to do. So in order to get in touch with us, you can call or text 407-566-2555 or find us online at centralfloridarealestateradio.com, and we'll see you after the break. Welcome back, everybody. This is Laura Peterson, your host of Central Florida Real Estate Radio. I'm from Your Home Sold, Guaranteed Realty, and to discuss the sale of your home, you can call or text 407-566-2555. That's 407-566-2555. So I wanted to let you know that there are, I was talking that earlier that I am this week have been and still am at a conference that is for Your Home Sold, and we're always kind of on the trend in regards to kind of 10 to 15 years ahead of the market in regards to what's going on and how everything goes. And so I talked a little bit about some of the things that just meeting with you as a seller, the decisions that you can make and the options that you have. And then we have a lot of things that once you decide that you're going to work with us, that we do that are different to that and everything as well. And one of the things that, it's like we've really done is that looking at technology and how we can use it to actually make things better right now. I know a lot of people, use for the descriptions and all of that kind of stuff. You might use AI for that to help you to do those kinds of things. And I, talked a few weeks ago about how a guy had used ChatGPT to say, hey, what color should I paint the inside of my house or the outside of my house and everything to give it curb appeal that most people are looking for and all those kinds of things. But we definitely go beyond that because we use AI in marketing. We use AI in, really in everything that we do in order to make sure that we are on the cutting edge and doing that. And we've developed apps and different proprietary information that basically take all of your things, either you're a buyer or a seller, that are going to take you to that next step in technology. Maybe it comes down to that where you actually know basically that at 24/7, it's somebody that is calling an 800 number or going to a website, putting in your address and actually having a conversation with an AI person about your house in regards to what's going on. And that's 24/7. So you know that nobody can be available all of those times, that you can always have a human that has the exact information of what you need to give somebody on your house. And then it automatically puts them to a live person when the time is right and everything. And so that's one thing that's out there that's available, to you, and that makes a difference in regards to what's going on, because people want information, and if they can't get it, then they move on to the next property or forget about yours or whatever. If they're driving the neighborhood and see it, they want to get it right now and get it when maybe somebody isn't available. And so you want to make sure that you've got it so that it is available, what they want to get. But at the same time, with that, we are capturing their information, getting them to go to that next level in regards to finding out, where they're at, what they want to do, and all of that kind of good stuff, and setting up appointments and that kind of stuff, for it. In addition to that, when it comes to technology and everything, just with the cutting edge, that there are some exclusive things that are available on certain platforms, like, say, for example, on Zillow, that we have access to, that some other realtors and that kind of thing do as well. But what they found is that our houses that we list with Zillow sell a lot faster than other people do that are using this program, because of, all of the things that we've incorporated into it and make it different, not just using it the same as everybody else in order to make that happen. And so there are definite opportunities and everything out there as a seller to know what to do and everything in order to take it to the next level. And you don't have to learn everything, but you can learn from us. And so we basically, make sure that we're on the cutting edge. And so then that allows you to be on the cutting edge. So I guess I'm just kind of talking about sellers right now, and I'll talk about buyers in the last segment in regards to what we can do for you. But basically, knowing all of these things and getting everything on the cusp and all of that kind of good stuff is really an important thing. Another thing that we went over extensively and have improved extensively is our certified pre-owned home. Because what we have found with this is that, just like if you go to a car dealer and you buy a certified pre-owned car, there are additional things that have been done to the car, like they've had inspections. If there were things that were wrong with it, they fixed them. So those cars go for more than an average used car does. Same thing with the certified pre-owned home. We have all of the stats now that show that with doing, some of the things that we do up front and continually, with that home, that we're able to get more money, for that particular home, sell it faster and everything as a result of it. In doing that, and 36% faster than the average home is what it comes out to with a certified pre-owned home. Now that's a pretty big number, that if, the average days to contract, I believe I said, was like 77 or something like that. And so if you could sell it 36% faster, then obviously your days on the market goes down significantly. And many times it goes down to 1 day with our tour of homes and everything that we do, which is an open house on steroids, to make sure that everything happens day in and day out. And we can sell that home, on day one many times, because we open it up on the day of the tour for the first time, build up that demand, get everybody in there, and it really makes a huge difference in regards to what happens and what we're going to do and everything, with that. So, like, what I'm trying to tell you is that there are advanced tactics, advanced things that we're always on the cutting edge to making sure that we're ahead of the market in regards to what's going on. And when we look back, like I said, I've been involved, with this group since 2019 or 2007 is basically when I've been involved. And so when we look back at those predictions that were made in 2007, it came true, 5-10 years after that. And that's always been that way because it's a mastermind with great realtors that are doing great things, in throughout North America to make sure that we can provide our clients with an edge. So we have the edge, so we can provide our clients with an edge in order to do that. So basically, if you just want to sit down, know what's going on and everything with that, I try to tell a little bit of what's happening here, but I have very limited time in order to do that. But I'm always available to help. What you need to do to make the best decision for you and your house, and that's what it's all about. So in order to get in touch with us, you can call or text 407-566-2555. You can find us online at centralfloridarealestateradio.com, and we will see you after the break. Welcome back, everybody. This is Laura Peterson, your host of Central Florida Real Estate Radio. I'm from Your Home Sold, Guaranteed Realty, and to discuss the sale of your home, you can call or text 407-566-2555. That's 407-566-2555. So I wanted to talk a little bit about buyers right now in regards to what's available and everything out there. I was talking about sellers and some of the things that that I've learned in the last few days in regard, not learned new, but basically emphasized and make better in regards to what we're going on and just predictions and everything and what's going on and everything for the future for buyers. And when it comes down to it, as a buyer, you've got a lot of options when it comes to homes and everything today. But it's like knowing what's the best thing to do, knowing, basically how to make it happen and all of those kinds of things really comes down to it. And are you making the right decision when it comes to that house? And maybe, you're compromising, and in my opinion, for the most part, you don't have to. I mean, obviously, you've got a budget, and so you've got to get the best thing that you can for that budget. But how do you do that efficiently and without wasting a lot of time and everything like that? And so that basically comes down to, what we're doing and what we're talking about in order to make everything happen for you and your business, not you and your business, for you and your business in regards to buying a house and everything in order to do that. So when it comes down to it, a lot of real estate agents, and maybe yourself as well, when you're looking for a house, what do? You're going to go online and you are probably going to look at houses, and then you're going to find something and you're going to look at it and go, okay, this is the house that I want and everything. And then you're going to go ahead and, maybe you're going to be sorely disappointed when you go into it, which I have been many times with people that they pick out houses and they go in them and they go, well, this really doesn't look like in the picture. And, I'm going, yeah, I agree. I understand 100%. And that's why I chose a couple of houses for us to look at as well. But in addition to that, and we actually saw a really funny video. It was just about a 30-second clip, and it was what it's like when when you find a house that you want on Zillow and then you actually go see it. And it was this picture of this person with long blonde hair and looked like they were in a bikini and everything like that. You saw them from the back, and then they turned around and it was a guy with his shirt off and everything like that. And it wasn't quite what you were expecting when you looked at it. And that was just kind of a funny clip in regards to what many times the houses look like. But when it comes down to it, we have a VIP buyer program that we actually will canvass the properties in the area where you want to be that match the criteria of what you want, and also find houses that are off market. And you might think, well, I'm sure that doesn't work that well. It works really well. So when it comes down to it, I've done this multiple times with people, but we just narrow in on a specific neighborhood, a specific type of house, a specific house. And the more specific we are, sometimes the better off that we come. For example, there was a house that I had that There was a buyer that I had that was looking for a specific floor plan, that they wanted to make sure there was a downstairs master. It had to have at least 2,500 square feet. It had to be in this neighborhood, and there were only 100 houses that matched the criteria. So we did reach out to all 100 of those houses. Now there were 4 people that responded that we were able to pick from 4 houses that were not on the market. And so when you're going to go that extra step and that extra mile, that buyer is extremely happy in regards to what they got. They got exactly what they wanted when they wanted, could not find it otherwise. There wasn't anything on the market that matched what they were looking for exactly. And so they actually got what they wanted. Again, I had another person that wanted one of 19 properties. So I'm like thinking, oh my goodness, is this going to work? And so sure enough, sent out and did my thing in regards to finding those houses. And 2 of the 19 responded. Now, one of them was really high and everything like that, which you're going to find, but they did find one that matched their criteria because they wanted to find one that hadn't been fixed up yet. These properties were built in about the 2000s. And so they wanted to find one that hadn't been renovated too much because they wanted to get it at a little bit lower price, and then they wanted to renovate it to their specifications. The other one that was on the high side, they had already renovated it and they wanted to get their money out for the renovations, and they really didn't want to sell it anyway, but they thought, hey, if we could get this amount of money for it, we would sell. And so basically that's what it comes down to. I had another one that, was a particular house, that condo that people wanted, and they wanted an end unit. They wanted it in this specific area, and I think there were about 40 of them that were available, and I got 3 responses for it. So basically when you're being specific in regards to that, in regards to finding that out, we can actually do that for a buyer. But then beyond that, when it comes down to it, and it comes down to the negotiating and figuring it out and getting all of that kind of good stuff done and making sure that your best foot is put forward, then all of those things happen as well when we're looking at it. And so basically, I'm so excited and happy that I am, on the cutting edge in regards to what's going on. And it's not just me, it's hundreds of other people that we're masterminding together and testing things out and figuring out what works so that we can offer the best thing to the customer. We're not just doing, following the pack, going along, and this is the way it works. No, that's not how we operate. We definitely go out there, find out the best thing for our clients, best things that are going to work out in order to make sure that you're going to have all of your hopes and dreams and everything that happen in the best way possible in order to make that happen. And so if there's a way to make it happen, then we can do that. And that's working with the right lenders and making sure that they have your best interest at heart, that they can actually provide you with the best things out there for you and everything as well. So we've got all of that arsenal in our tool belt to make sure that it is the best possible outcome, for you, for your family, in order to make these things happen. And so it's, really been exciting for me in the last 20 years to, 21 years, I guess, to be a realtor, but not just an average realtor, to excel in regards to finding the best things that are out there, for people and everything like that. And to end this show today, the thing that I definitely want to make sure that if you're a realtor out there and you're listening and you want to also have these advanced things and everything that are out there and be on the cutting edge and be better and all of that kind of good stuff, please give me a call, because I would be happy to talk to you and share some of these things with you and see if it's a good fit for us to be working together and all of that kind of thing as well. So it's just really an exciting time. You know, the market is steady and everything, but we can't change the market. But what we can do is we can operate optimally within it. And that's what we always do. We want to make sure that you get exactly the best thing that you can get at this point in time. And if the timing isn't right, then the timing isn't right. But most of the time, you can do what you want to do now. There's no reason to wait. There's time to actually set it up for the future so that you've got exactly what you want. And that's what we're all about, and making sure that it's the best thing for the client that's out there. If it's the realtor that's going to be working with us, then we want to make it the best thing for everybody. So that's why we are Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. And I'm very excited and proud and everything for the future. And I just can't wait for any of you that want to join us on this journey, that you come along with us, and we're happy to have you. So in order to get in touch with us, you can call or text 407-566-2555. You can find us online at centralfloridarealestateradio.com, and we will see you next week. Have a great one, everybody. Bye-bye.